Two black teens walk into a luxury car dealership, full of excitement and dreams of their future. But their hopes are dashed when they are rudely turned away and humiliated by the dealership staff. They are dismissed simply because of their appearance. If you're intrigued, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this. The glossy glass doors of the luxury car dealership gleam under the morning sun as two black teens, no older than 17, step in. Their hearts race with excitement, the kind of excitement that only comes when you know you're about to experience something big. It's not just any car dealership, it's the dealership, where the elite of society come to buy their dream cars. And today, it feels like they're about to be part of that world. They've saved for months, sacrificing, working part-time jobs, scraping together whatever they could to get a glimpse of a life they've only ever seen in magazines and movies. They've come here today with a single goal: to see, touch, and test drive a car that, for them, represents something far bigger than just a vehicle. It's a symbol of all they've worked for. It's their future, their success, a life that's within their reach if they can just make it past the door. The showroom is everything they imagined: luxurious, sleek, and glimmering with the finest cars. Expensive sports cars and polished luxury sedans sit under the bright lights, showcasing the pinnacle of wealth and success. The teens exchange glances, each of them trying to hide the nervous excitement building up in their chests. They've never been in a place like this before. One teen, Marcus, the more outspoken of the two, leads the way. He straightens his jacket, runs his hand over his buzzed hair, and smiles at his friend, Amir. Amir, the quieter one, offers a small grin, but his nervousness is palpable. Neither of them has ever walked into a showroom like this, and while the experience excites them, a quiet sense of discomfort lingers in the back of their minds. They know they don't belong in this world, not according to what they've been told and shown their whole lives. The saleswoman, a woman in her late 40s, dressed in a sharp business suit, looks up from her desk. Her eyes skim over them briefly before she picks up a clipboard and begins to scribble notes. There's no smile, no welcome. Just a quick glance, followed by a shift of her attention back to the paperwork. Marcus steps forward, trying his best to project confidence. "Hey, we're just here to look at the cars," he says, his voice casual, but with a hint of excitement. "We're interested in the new model." The saleswoman doesn't respond immediately. She glances at them again, this time with more scrutiny. The silence between them thickens, stretching on for what feels like an eternity. Finally, she speaks, her tone colder than they expected. "You two need to leave," she says dismissively, motioning toward the door with a flick of her hand. "We don't have time to entertain anyone right now." For a moment, Marcus stands frozen, confused. Did he hear that right? Did she just ask them to leave? Amir, equally stunned, looks at Marcus, not sure how to respond. They were expecting a rejection, sure. But this? This felt personal. "Wait. Hold on. We're just here to look. We're not bothering anyone," Marcus tries to explain, his voice faltering slightly as a rising sense of disbelief fills him. The saleswoman doesn't flinch. "I said leave. This isn't the place for people like you." Her words, as sharp and cold as ice, cut deep. The dismissiveness, the casual rejection. It isn't just about the car. It's about who they are, how they look, and what the saleswoman has decided they are worth. Marcus feels the weight of the words sink in. His heart sinks, his fists clenching at his sides, but he refuses to let it show. He's used to people underestimating him, but this blatant disregard, hurts more than anything. Amir stands there, his face pale, his gaze flickering between the woman and Marcus. He doesn't know what to say or do, but the sting of the rejection is sharp. He wants to leave. But at the same time, he feels a fire building inside him, a sense of injustice that he can't ignore. As the saleswoman picks up her phone and turns away from them, signaling that the conversation is over, Marcus knows this moment won't just fade away. He can't let this slide. They came here for a dream, but the reality they're facing is not what they expected. The anger starts to build inside him, simmering below the surface. He feels it in his chest, the knot of frustration, disappointment, and confusion tightening with every passing second. They leave the dealership in silence, the door closing behind them with a soft thud. Outside, the world feels different. The gleaming cars and the shiny building no longer seem like symbols of success. Instead, they feel like a wall, something that they will never be able to break through, no matter how hard they try. As they walk away, the sting of rejection still fresh, Marcus can't help but feel a sense of betrayal. Why did they treat us like that? It's not just about being told to leave. It's about being made to feel like they didn't belong here, that they weren't worthy of even a glance. It's something all too familiar. Something that's been a part of their lives for as long as they can remember. But deep down, both of them know one thing. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning. They may have been humiliated, but something inside them is starting to change. They won't be pushed around any longer. The walk from the dealership to their car feels like it takes forever. The once thrilling excitement they felt has now been replaced with a gnawing sense of injustice. The bright sunlight no longer feels warm. It feels harsh, almost like a spotlight on their shame. Marcus walks ahead, his steps quick and angry. His jaw is tight, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. The words the saleswoman said echo in his mind. This isn't the place for people like you. Each time they play in his head, the anger inside him grows. He can barely contain it now. Amir, on the other hand, walks slower, his hands shoved into his pockets. His mind is swirling with thoughts, his face expressionless, but inside, his thoughts are racing. He's angry too, of course he is. But he's also scared. They're just kids. What can they do to take on something this big? What if this goes wrong? What if it backfires? By the time they reach their car, Marcus is ready to explode. He slams his hand on the hood in frustration, his voice tight as he finally speaks. Did you hear that? Did you hear the way she talked to us? Marcus practically spits the words out, shaking his head in disbelief. This isn't just about the car. This is about who we are, who we look like. She thought she could just throw us out because we don't belong here. Amir takes a breath, glancing at his friend. His mind works in overdrive, trying to find the right words. He can feel the same sense of betrayal, but he's also thinking about the bigger picture. This isn't a small thing. They're not just two kids facing rejection at a dealership. This is about something deeper, something systemic. Marcus. Amir starts slowly, his voice quiet. I know you're angry. I am, too. Trust me. But we have to be careful. This isn't just about us getting even. What if this goes wrong? What if we end up making it worse? We're talking about a whole system here, man. Marcus turns to him, his eyes blazing with determination. I don't care about that, Amir. They humiliated us. They made us feel like we were nothing. I'm done being quiet. We need to make them regret this. The words come out sharp, filled with frustration. But as he speaks, he knows Amir's right in some way. His head is telling him to wait, to think things through. But his heart? His heart is screaming for action. Amir, sensing the rising tension, takes a deep breath, trying to calm himself. I know you want revenge. I get that. But let's think about it. What happens if we get the wrong attention? What happens if we make this worse for ourselves? Marcus paces in front of the car, his hands running through his hair. I don't care about the consequences right now. What about our dignity? What about standing up for ourselves? He pauses, looking at Amir with intensity. Don't you think we deserve more than that? Don't you think we deserve respect? Amir stands there silently, processing Marcus's words. It's hard for him to argue. The pain, the anger, it's all so real, and he feels it too. But Amir's always been the cautious one, the one who thinks before jumping into action. And this feels bigger than just them. This is about the world seeing them as equals. seeing them as deserving. But it's also about the potential consequences of their actions. "I hear you, man," Amir finally says. "But I just want to make sure we don't burn bridges that we can't rebuild. We need a plan, something that actually makes a difference, not just a reaction out of anger." The silence between them hangs heavy as Marcus stops pacing and looks his friend in the eye. It's clear that neither of them knows exactly what to do next. The world outside this car dealership is far bigger than they imagined, and they don't know what the repercussions of their actions will be. But one thing is for sure: this moment won't just be forgotten. After a long pause, Marcus takes a deep breath and exhales slowly, his mind still buzzing with the possibilities. "All right, let's think it through, but I swear, we're not just going to sit back and let them get away with it." Amir nods, still uncertain but willing to follow his friend. "We'll figure it out. Let's make sure whatever we do, it counts." And so, as the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the parking lot, the two teens sit in their car, silent for a few moments longer. But now, the weight of their decision is clear. They aren't just going to let this go. They'll make sure the world knows that no one, no matter their age or skin color, should ever be treated this way again. The rising tension between them mirrors the growing storm inside their hearts, a storm that's bound to burst open and change everything. The decision is made. After hours of discussing what to do next, Marcus and Amir agree on one thing: they need to contact their father. Amir hesitates for a moment, unsure whether to involve him in something so big. But Marcus, already on the phone, is unwavering. "Dad," Marcus says, his voice steady despite the adrenaline rushing through him, "we need your help. Something happened today at the dealership. They treated us like we didn't belong. Like we weren't even worthy of being in there." Their father, a well-known billionaire businessman, listens in silence on the other end. After a long pause, he speaks. "I'll handle it." The teens exchange a quick look, their hearts pounding. They know their father is powerful, but they never imagined he would take it this far. But this is more than just business. This is personal. The next day, the dealership is buzzing with activity, just like any other day. But then, something changes. As the clock ticks closer to noon, the dealership's parking lot suddenly grows quiet. A sleek black Rolls-Royce pulls up. Its polished surface gleams under the sunlight, a stark contrast to the ordinary cars parked around it. Heads turn as the car slowly comes to a stop. The dealership staff freezes, and even the managers step outside to get a glimpse. There's no mistaking it. The car is a statement in itself. Marcus and Amir's father steps out, tall and confident, dressed in an impeccably tailored suit. The staff looks on in shock as the realization hits them like a cold wave. The man who owns this car isn't just a customer. They've been dealing with the sons of a billionaire this whole time. The teen's father walks toward the dealership's front doors, his presence commanding the attention of everyone around him. As the father steps into the dealership, Marcus and Amir follow closely behind, their heads held high, their steps purposeful. The tension in the air is thick. Every eye in the dealership is on them. The salespeople, who had once turned them away, now shift uncomfortably, their arrogance replaced by visible unease. The dealership staff stands frozen, unsure of how to react. The manager, who had been so dismissive the day before, is now sweating nervously. The entire atmosphere is shifted in an instant. The teens and their father aren't just customers. They're a force that can't be ignored. Without a word, Marcus's father walks straight to the front desk, his presence commanding the room. He looks at the receptionist who had dismissed his sons the day before, his eyes cold but resolute. "I don't think you understand what happened here yesterday," he begins, his voice calm yet powerful. "My sons were treated with disrespect, and that ends now." The receptionist stammers, but before she can respond, the father continues, addressing the entire room. "This isn't just about my family. It's about the people you've turned away because of the color of their skin or the way they look. Every person you've dismissed, humiliated, or ignored. They deserve better than this. The manager steps forward, trying to save face, but the father cuts him off. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm here to make it clear that this kind of behavior will not stand. His voice is steady, but it holds a weight that leaves no room for argument. The dealership is silent. No one dares speak, as if everyone in the room understands the gravity of what's happening. The father's calm yet assertive words have left the staff rattled, and Marcus and Amir, standing beside him, feel a rush of pride. For once, they aren't the ones being looked down upon. Today, they're the ones taking control. The father stands tall, his words having left an indelible mark on the dealership staff. He doesn't wait for apologies. He's already made up his mind. You've made a grave mistake, he says, his voice unwavering. But it's not just about my sons. It's about the future of this business. I can't, in good conscience, do business with a place that treats people like this. He pauses for a moment, letting his words sink in. I'll be taking my business elsewhere, and I'll make sure my network knows the kind of people you truly are. With that, he turns, his sons following close behind. The staff stands there, stunned into silence. They know they've lost far more than just a sale. They've lost a customer, a reputation, and any chance at regaining their credibility. As they walk out, Marcus and Amir exchange a look. There's a weight lifted from their shoulders. The humiliation they felt just a day ago has been replaced with something more powerful: empowerment. They didn't just prove their worth to the dealership. They proved it to themselves. Man, I can't believe we just did that, Amir says, his voice filled with awe. We actually did it. Marcus smiles, feeling a deep sense of pride. We did more than that. We showed everyone that we're not just going to stand by and let people walk all over us. The car ride home is quiet, but it's not uncomfortable. They're both lost in thought, reflecting on how far they've come in just a day. The respect they've gained isn't just from the dealership, it's from within themselves. They know their worth now. The final lesson is clear. When you stand up for yourself and what you believe in, you don't just change the world around you, you change yourself. The father stands tall, his words having left an indelible mark on the dealership staff. He doesn't wait for apologies. He's already made up his mind. You've made a grave mistake, he says, his voice unwavering. But it's not just about my sons. It's about the future of this business. I can't, in good conscience, do business with a place that treats people like this. He pauses for a moment, letting his words sink in. I'll be taking my business elsewhere, and I'll make sure my network knows the kind of people you truly are. With that, he turns, his sons following close behind. The staff stands there, stunned into silence. They know they've lost far more than just a sale. They've lost a customer, a reputation, and any chance at regaining their credibility. As they walk out, Marcus and Amir exchange a look. There's a weight lifted from their shoulders. The humiliation they felt just a day ago has been replaced with something more powerful: empowerment. They didn't just prove their worth to the dealership, they proved it to themselves. Man, I can't believe we just did that, Amir says, his voice filled with awe. We actually did it. Marcus smiles, feeling a deep sense of pride. We did more than that. We showed everyone that we're not just going to stand by and let people walk all over us. The car ride home is quiet, but it's not uncomfortable. They're both lost in thought, reflecting on how far they've come in just a day. The respect they've gained isn't just from the dealership, it's from within themselves. They know their worth now. The final lesson is clear. When you stand up for yourself and what you believe in, you don't just change the world around you, you change yourself. Have you ever faced a moment where you had to stand up for yourself or someone you love? Share your story in the comments below. If you believe in standing up for what's right and showing your true worth, hit that like button and subscribe for more empowering stories like this one.